baby, we are right back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Wednesday edition. Chasing that paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Oh, baby, coming off a second consecutive profitable program. Shout out to Spider Mitchell. Plus 230 for 35 or more points. I think he finished with 43 points. The game absolutely went off, so we're going to try to bring that winning energy into today, covering NBA, college hoops, NHL picks. Second half of the program, going to talk a little NFL draft, NFL playoffs, a lot to go through, a lot to discuss. Let's bring in my co-host for the day, my co-worker here over at Vegas Insider, Kevin Rogers, the man of the minute. Look at this guy. Absolutely feeling it. How are we doing today, Kevin?
Joe, it's good to see you again, and looking forward to a big night in college hoops, and also we'll see if Carlos Correa signs with the Marlins maybe by the end of the day.
It's funny we were discussing this, so as you guys, if you watch the show on a regular basis, you probably realize that Kevin has been joining me most Wednesdays, and every single Wednesday it seems like we got some type of Carlos Correa development going on. Maybe the final development, I guess. He is officially a Minnesota Twin, so we'll hash that out a little bit in the second half of the program. But we got a lot of picks to get to here, Kevin. 7 overall, so let's get right into the action. We're going to start things off in beautiful Atlanta, where the Milwaukee Bucks are in town. And I'm going to take a shot on those Bucks -2. So check out these Hawks. No consistency whatsoever from Atlanta. They are 5-13 ATS after a straight-up win, including 6 straight ATS losses following a straight-up win. That's the position they're in tonight. They're coming off a 4-point win over the Clippers their last time out. Expect a big edge in the paint here for the Bucks. Clint Capella still out of the lineup for the Hawks. The Hawks are 26 in points allowed in the paint over the last 10 games. Also dead last in rebounds allowed in this span. Guess who's first in rebounds for during this stretch? It is the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Bucks defense will be the difference in this game. Yes, they are struggling offensively. The Hawks haven't been great either. But over the last 10 games, Milwaukee is 4th in opponent EFG percentage. They're limiting free throw attempts. They're fantastic against the three-pointer. Hawks, meanwhile, 0 discipline on defense, allowing way too many big point totals. Give me the Bucks -2. All right, Kevin, let's shift over to college basketball. What do you got for your first bet of the day?
Well, I'll stay in the great state of Georgia here, Joe, and I'm going to take Mississippi State, lay the points with them against the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, UGA still celebrating that big football championship Monday, but not the same story on the basketball court. Now, granted, they've improved in basketball this year under Mike White, the former Florida coach who went over to Georgia. Mississippi State, not to say with some growing pains in their first season with Chris Jans as the coach, who took over for Ben Howland after a long time. But Mississippi State looking to build off a win over Ole Miss on Saturday. And the Bulldogs, though, just 2-8 against the spread their last 10. Georgia 7-2 against the spread the last 9. But we are not going to follow those numbers today, Joe. Considering today, big scheduling spot for the Bulldogs. They got Auburn. They have a revenge game with Tennessee coming up. They got Florida. They got big games. They cannot afford to lose this one to Georgia. And even though the Bulldogs have been pretty good against the spread, they hung with Florida in White's return to Gainesville on Saturday, ended up losing that game. I think Mississippi State's the better team here. Let's lay the points with the Bulldogs on the road against the Bulldogs.
All right, we wrap right back around to the NBA. We're off to Detroit, Michigan, a true blue-collar city, where I'm going to take a shot on the visiting Minnesota Timberwolves, coming in at -6.5 over at BetMGM this morning. So a lot of ugly losses piling up for the Pacers here. The wheels are really falling off in Detroit. A casual 30-point loss last night to the Sixers, a 12-point loss the game before that, a 12-point loss again the game before that. Overall, 9 double-digit losses in their last 12 games. They are really bad. Meanwhile, I think it's fair to say a disappointing start to the season for the Timberwolves, but maybe they're snapping out of it here. 4 straight wins, including victories over the Clippers and Nuggets. Great shooting during that 4-game stretch. They're getting to the free throw line a lot, grabbing a lot of offensive rebounds, playing strong defense, where they're going to have a massive advantage tonight. Opponent EFG percentage over the last 10 games. This is 3rd versus 30th, 10th versus 30th in points allowed per 100 possessions. And of course, Kevin, this is a revenge game. You never go against the revenge game, right? Being a bit sarcastic there, but their most recent loss came against these Pistons on New Year's Eve. So yeah, they'll be out for blood tonight. There should be some motivation here to pick up the W and win by at least 7 points. All right, Kevin, back to college hoops. What are we looking at next?
Don't diss the revenge game, Joe. You can't do it. You can't diss the revenge game. Now, with our second pick, mercy, mercy me, Mercer, Mercer me. Let's go with the Mercer Bears tonight as a home underdog against Furman in the SoCon in the Southern Conference. Now, these teams are going in 2 different directions. Mercer's going this way. Furman's going that way. So let's first start with the Mercer Bears. They are 0-4 in the conference. Now, they lost a game by a point to Wofford, 53-52 at home. You figured, all right, they'll bounce back against Western Carolina. They got blown out, lost by 28 the next game. But in the 4 losses that Mercer has, they were a short favorite twice. They were a short underdog twice. Now you're getting a bunch of points with them against a pretty good Furman team, 3-1, straight up and against the spread in the SoCon. They beat the Citadel by 25. They beat East Tennessee by 14. But I do think that the Mercer Bears bounce back. And if you look at that third line, not only revenge, Joe, double revenge. Mercer lost to Furman twice last year. So you know what that means? Circle the calendar. We know Furman's coming up. But Mercer's a little bit desperate. Also, look at that opponent, EFG. Mercer better than Furman. Let's go with the Mercer Bears at home. The Bears. Let's take Mercer against Furman in the Southern Conference.
Mercer. A lot of excitement for that game. All right, my favorite player prop of the night. I'm going to take C.J. McCollum to have over 3.5 3-pointers coming in at plus 140 in Boston versus the Celtics tonight. Check this guy out. He's been lights out from long distance. What a start to 2023, shooting 51.4% from 3, topping 3.5 threes in all 4 games to start the new year. The volume will absolutely be there. Double-digit attempts from 3 aren't rare from McCollum. He's had at least 8 attempts in 4 straight games, and the Celtics are struggling to defend the 3. Last 10 games, they are 25th in opponent 3-point shooting percentage, 24th in threes allowed per game. McCollum, the number 1 option for the Pelicans tonight, over 3.5 threes plus 140. All right, Kevin, your final pick of the program. What are we looking at?
We are going to go to the ACC, Joe, and take the Virginia Tech Hokies on the road against Syracuse. And again, a bit of desperation mode for Virginia Tech. They've had a lot of close losses of late inside of the conference. And when you look at least who they've lost to, 4 points at home to NC State. 3 to Clemson. Clemson's 5-0 in the conference. 2 to Wake Forest on the road. They lost by 5 at Boston College in overtime. So a lot of close defeats for this Hokie team. The only win came against North Carolina back in early December. North Carolina team that was number 1 at the beginning of the season. They've kind of fallen off. But still, Virginia Tech with some respect here, favored on the road against Jim Boeheim's Syracuse team, who did cover against Virginia in a loss on Saturday, 73-66. But they don't have a lot of great wins this year. You look inside the conference, Louisville stinks. They beat them by 1. Boston College isn't great. Beat them at home as well. They edged Notre Dame, who finally got their first conference win last night in overtime against Georgia Tech. So Syracuse not really impressed with what they've done so far inside of the conference. Virginia Tech doesn't turn the ball over. Syracuse does. So let's go with the Hokie Pokies and take them against Syracuse tonight on the road for our third best bet, Joe.
All right, moving to the ice. We'll bring it home for the pick segment of the show. My best bet in the NHL tonight. Give me the Toronto Maple Leafs over 3.5 goals on their team total, coming in at minus 120. Quite simply, this is a beautiful betting spot. 4 more goals in 7 of their last 8 home games for Toronto. 4 more in 7 of their last 9 games overall. You dig into the analytics. Absolutely beautiful here, guys. 4th in expected goals for over the last 10 games for Toronto. 29th in expected goals allowed for the Nashville Predators. Their opponent tonight, also high danger chances, third in high danger chances for versus 29th in high danger chances allowed in this span, and a lot of time in the box for Nashville. They are very undisciplined. The 8th most penalty minutes in the NHL. Toronto, the 7th ranked power play in the National Hockey League. Give me the Maple Leafs to score at least 4 goals tonight, minus 120. All right, there you have it. In and out, in and out. 7 picks in about 7 minutes, guys. If you're on YouTube watching right now, do us a favor, hit that like button right down there. Hit that subscribe button down there as well. It makes us easier to find when you log into YouTube every day. A lot of great content on our YouTube page, by the way. Individual previews for all the wildcard games are up now, so you want to check those out. And you're also going to want to check out BetMGM. If you're placing some bets today, check them out and take advantage of our bonus. So kick off your day of sports betting with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS. And your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's a VI bonus, all one word, no spaces. And your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
All right, Kevin, let's kick around a couple different topics. Let's start with the NFL draft. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a quarterback-rich draft, especially compared to last year. Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis were the top 2 guys going into the draft. Looks like we could have 4 guys go in the top 10 here potentially, though. We put up a poll on our Twitter feed this morning asking people who they think should be the first QB off the board in the 2023 draft. No shock. You're going to see Bryce Young going number 1 in most mock drafts here, 58.1%. CJ Stroud coming off a pretty strong game there in the semifinals. Certainly improved his stock, 30.4. Meanwhile, Will Levis looks like he's going to be the guy that gets the big marketing campaign. You see it every year with a quarterback in the draft. And Anthony Richardson. Who knows? Someone's going to take a shot on him, might strike gold. But what do we think here, Kevin? If you're picking a quarterback in the draft, you taking Bryce Young over all these guys?
I'm the Chicago Bears. I stick with Justin Fields, and I get anything I can to. I get a what's the term? I get any kind of big package. What are they called? Not a gold.
A King's ransom?
I'm really stuck.
King's ransom.
Thank you. That's King's ransom. Thank you. That's what I'm here
sir.
for. That's what you're here for
you.
too. If I'm the Chicago Bears, I do that to get whatever I can for that number 1 pick. I trust Justin Fields, which sounds really weird before this year. You would say, get rid of him. He's not worth it. You see that he was great running the ball. He doesn't have a lot of weapons around him, which isn't very helpful. But if you're going to be the Chicago Bears, you get that number 1 pick, you take whatever you can from these teams, the Indianapolis Colts, who are desperate for a quarterback, the Houston Texans, who are desperate for a quarterback, that you try to see, okay, you want to move up? You want a guy like Bryce Young, who's very talented? Then give us everything you can, and we'll move back a few spots and still get a pretty good player when it's all said and done. On the Bears, I don't think I'd give up on Justin Fields just yet, but you have a lot of good players up there. Will Levis from Kentucky, they say, is going to be a very good prospect as well. I have no faith in Anthony Richardson. He's a really good athlete, but as far as quarterback, he doesn't have a lot of great numbers. At Florida, he really struggled this past year. And also CJ Stroud is very good. You saw, like you mentioned, in that Peach Bowl against Georgia, how well he played. And yes, CJ Stroud and Bryce Young have great talent around them, like Tua did at Alabama, like Mac Jones had at Alabama. Like, I get that. And also like Justin Fields had at Ohio State. But still, those guys will be good quarterbacks, but also depends what you have around you. You still need on the NFL level, there's only so much you can do as a quarterback that, even like a Justin Herbert, you still need talent around you. Tua had, he thrived having Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle around him with the Dolphins. You can't just show up with a bunch of bums around you and just be great. You need the talent too, and that's what Justin Fields needs in Chicago. He needs to have talent around him to be successful. But I think the Bears, they stick with Fields. They need a better coach. I mean, like, their coaches have been bad. They don't.
Kevin freezing up there. I'll hop in here. Yeah, I think the whole trade Justin Fields thing, it seems very clickbaity. And you guys have heard me say this many times throughout the season. We don't give young quarterbacks in this league enough time to develop at all. It's quite ridiculous. The passing numbers obviously aren't good, but what has this guy, Justin Fields, had to work with? Who's his best receiver been the past couple of years? The offensive line absolutely stinks for them as well. So, yeah, I think they'd be silly to give up on Fields this early. A tremendous athlete at the quarterback position. We see what he can do if he can run. Maybe they look at a situation like Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, and they might think, maybe not a whole lot of longevity for the run-first quarterback in this league, but, surround this guy with a little bit of talent. And we'll see what happened. Okay, Kevin, some connectivity issues down there in Florida. Okay, Kevin, a few developing issues here in the NFL. The Ravens, reports coming out that Lamar Jackson now facing an uphill battle to play on Sunday night against the Bengals. Hasn't really impacted the line. I think that was factored into the line. The Bengals had 7 now. It was 6.5 yesterday. But I think this whole Lamar Jackson thing just absolutely stinks. This is a guy, I don't even know if he's been around the team throughout the time where he's been injured. Pretty much crickets from the guy on his social media accounts. Always a guy that has something to say. And I think that there's just quite simply a lot of bad blood there. Lamar Jackson wants that big money. He's seeing these guys like Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson, who absolutely don't deserve all that money, just getting record-breaking deals. Meanwhile, he's out here saying, what about me? Meanwhile, the Ravens are looking at him and saying, well, listen, dude, you've missed 2 straight Decembers now, so why would we give you all this money? So I think a change of scenery is going to be the best case scenario there. I predicted that he's going to go to the Saints. I could also see the Panthers and Falcons maybe getting in on that discussion. Look at those teams who were in on the Deshaun Watson discussion. It was all those teams. It was the Saints. It was the Panthers. It was the Falcons. People saying maybe the New York Jets potentially as well. But what do you think the future holds here for Lamar Jackson?
I think, Joe, he's probably played his final game in Baltimore. That, like you said, all the contract issues. This Ravens team, you think about it, they blew the Dolphin game, they blew the Bills game, they blew the Giants game, they blew the Jacksonville game. That they should not have a loss with Lamar Jackson as their starting quarterback this year. And the second straight year that he gets hurt, I mean, I don't know if that's a reason to push him out just because he, gets hurt at the end of the year where, last year they didn't end up getting the playoffs. This year they still got in spite of his injury. But I think they need a little bit. I think they need a divorce. I think they need to go a different direction just because maybe Lamar doesn't feel respected. And, yeah, the playoff numbers aren't great. That's the problem, is that it's not like Lamar has led them to a Super Bowl or even to, an AFC championship. They've had really good records in the past and lost at home. There's not a lot of resounding numbers, at least from a positive standpoint, in the playoffs. You look at the Cincinnati game on Sunday on Sunday night where, look, this Bengal team was 0-2 and they've completely caught fire. They're totally legit. There's no reason why they couldn't win the AFC again. And Baltimore, if you can't have Lamar out there, who's your quarterback? How do you have a shot in this game? I just don't think you do if it's anybody but Lamar playing. And also Lamar could play. He's not 100% either. So it's just hard to make a case for Baltimore in the situation. But also I think we may see the end of this relationship between Lamar and the Ravens.
Okay, another little bit of a development here in the sports betting landscape in terms of the Super Wildcard weekend. The Dolphins were plus 11 yesterday, down to plus 9 here this morning. That's leading to a little bit of speculation as to what's going on at the quarterback position. I think it's more likely that Teddy Bridgewater is healthy and they're going to have him start as opposed to Skylar Thompson. I'm not a doctor. I'm not one of these guys to moral grandstanding or whatever, but I can't see Tua getting in this game. If Tua gets in this game, say, for example, he's in and the Dolphins are getting the living shit kicked out of them and they're down by 20, and Tua has another concussion, This would be like the worst concussion scandal for an individual in NFL history. So, yeah, I mean, Tua obviously gives him a better shot at winning. I don't know the ins and outs of the concussion stuff. Neither does any of these other people giving their opinions on TV either, by the way. But what do you think here, Kevin? This line down to 9, do you think that's more indicative of Teddy Bridgewater getting the start as opposed to Tua?
Being in South Florida, Joe, and hearing all about this with the Dolphins, number one, Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know if he can grip a football. That's the big problem. I don't even know if he could do that with the finger injury he suffered against New England back a few weeks ago. And if Tua plays, I 100% agree with you, Joe. I don't know how you can defend it if he gets hurt again. That it's one thing if you sit Tua out and then something happens next season. He's had 8 months off, all right? Now, he's had 2 concussions. The Buffalo game, which really, or the first time against Buffalo, the back injury, which wasn't a concussion, but we all know he wobbled down. That's another concern, too, that with everything that's happened, the Dolphins will be under so much fire if they play Tua in this game and something happens to him again. And not to belittle as far as if they were the number 1 seed, you just say, forget it, just throw him out there. This is your best shot at winning the Super Bowl. You're probably not beating Buffalo, even with Tua in there. That they can't stop Josh Allen. They're going to a hostile environment. That I almost say you got to punt on this one. Go with Skylar Thompson, or if Teddy is good enough to play, go with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, the offense hasn't done much with either guy this season. It's not like it makes a big difference. I mean, Teddy's just a veteran compared to Skylar Thompson, who's a rookie, and the Jets kind of swallowed him up on Sunday. But I just can't see a situation where Tua is cleared and he's just ready to play. Like, it's not like you're cleared, like, okay, just give me the ball. You still got to practice. You still got to get back into shape a little bit. I think that Tua should not be playing in this game, and the line has moved. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that, but if Tua plays, I still would like to see him be successful, but I can't see how the Dolphins escape this if for some reason he gets hurt again.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins should cash in their chips. Listen, they made the playoffs. That's a win for them this season. They're going into this game as this is the biggest underdog that they'll be all season. If you look at the 18 games as a whole, there's 17 games as a whole throughout the regular season. It's a win for the Dolphins. They went over their over-under win total. I know that doesn't matter to them, but they got into the playoffs. So that's a step in the right direction from previous seasons here. And it's, something to build on for the future. Yeah, that's something they can never come back from. They put Tua in there and he has another concussion. Is it really worth the risk? I don't know about that. And I say that as a Dolphins fan, They got nothing to lose in this game. So, I think it's very unlikely that we'll see Tua. So, okay, something we touched on off the top here, Kevin. Whenever Kevin's on a Wednesday, we have Carlos Correa news. First of all, like a month ago, we were talking about him signing with the Giants. 2 weeks after that, we're talking about him signing with the Mets. And now today, it is official. Carlos Correa is with the Minnesota Twins. Looks like a $200 million contract. I think this has the potential to be an absolutely back-breaking deal for the Minnesota Twins. What, were there not enough red flags for the Twins here? The Twins don't give out contracts like this. Now they're giving out a contract like this. This could just handcuff them for the next decade. If Correa doesn't work out, if he's injured a lot as it is. People don't tend to get healthier with age, so yeah, congrats to Carlos Correa. He gets his third choice in free agency. So what do you make of this here, Kevin? You think it's a smart move by the Twins? Some might argue that, hey, they're getting a little bit of a discount here compared to what he was being offered.
Yes, that's true. And also, he's signed that, 2-year deal with Minnesota, opted out after 1 year to hit free agency. And you got your trial in Minnesota. Obviously, he liked it enough to go back there. And I understand as Ray burned through 2 teams that he failed the physical. But you go back in the clubhouse, day one. Hi, guys. Good to see you again. Thinking this guy is going to be, somewhere else that he wanted to be in San Francisco or be in New York. And you play for a Twins team that underachieved last year after they won the division the year before. They were in the playoffs before that. But look, he gets his money. He gets to play in a place where he's a little bit familiar with, so I guess that's good. I mean, Minnesota's not horrible. Like, they're just a team that's been up and down over the years in a wide-open division. So as long as he stays healthy, I think it's a really good signing for the Twins. It's just about, again, stay healthy. But he's going to get his 30 home runs. He's going to get his 90 runs batted in. He's going to do it. So I think that it's a good move for Minnesota. Again, they don't, like you said, they don't give out those contracts that often. But Minnesota still doesn't have the pressure on them that New York has as far as the Mets getting Verlander. I know they lost to Grom, but having Verlander and Scherzer and thinking, okay, this is the year the Mets can get over the hump inside the National League. And even San Francisco is kind of a rebuilding project a little bit. So I think this is the best case scenario for Correa is that Minnesota, you're in a place that he looking at this tweet here, that the Twins don't have the pressure on them that the Mets do, and also you're not in a rebuilding situation like San Francisco.
Yeah, I just think for the Twins, like if the Mets were to had the Mets obtained him, the Mets can afford to take on a bad contract, right? Just like the Yankees can, just like the Dodgers do. They all have bad contracts on their team. But it's kind of like the Angels with Albert Pujols in the second half of that deal. They gave him 10 years. That was an absolute disaster for them. And as a result, kind of killed Mike Trout's prime. Mike Trout's still in his prime, but it killed the first half of Mike Trout's prime a little bit because they weren't able to bring in any additional support. Just a super top-heavy team. And I do look forward to this year, once again, people making a case for the LA Angels of Anaheim. They will be trading Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's going to be a Dodger. The Dodgers did not spend any money, barely, in this offseason. So that is my take on that. And probably not a hot take at all. Not really going out on the limb. Ohtani to the Dodgers. Love to see it. Actually, I wouldn't love to see it. I don't like the Dodgers. Anyhow, guys, let me tell you a little bit about the Vegas Insider app. It gives you all the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with picks and expert breakdowns. You can shop for the best odds, find props, futures, and plenty more with the app. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. All right, let's get into some viewer picks here. Handful of submissions here this morning. Some hockey, some college hoops, I believe. Chips Picks Daily. He likes the Flyers. Taking a swing on a dog here. I like this. Over the last 2 weeks, the Flyers are 5-1. Ranking 8th in Corsi percentage, 14th in scoring chance percentage, and 8th in save percentage. And that same span, the Caps. Yeah, the Caps a bit up and down this season. They're down right now. 22nd in Corsi percentage and scoring chance percentage. Would love to see Urson behind the pipes, in between the pipes for Philly tonight. All right, yeah, we wish Chips good luck with that one. Always like a dog here. Nathan, I took the Leafs team total over. He likes their opponent, the Nationals team total over. I was surprised to see this only at 6, the total for this game. But he likes, over 2.5 here. He hit on the Devils over 2.5 there yesterday. That was a good call for him. Preds, pretty good analytically here from an offensive perspective lately. Toronto struggling defensively in terms of a save percentage over the last 10. Matt Murray maybe has come back down to earth a little bit. The Predators have scored 3 or more in 6 straight overall, as well as 3+ in 6 straight on the road. Yeah, hopefully we both hit on our picks, Nathan. So we'll hope for a high-scoring game in Toronto tonight. Matty Puppy Sports. This guy loves his trends. He's on a big favorite tonight. Bradley over Evansville. I'll be tuning into this one. Bradley, a perfect 8-0 as a home favorite. I'm guessing that's against the spread. Evansville, 0-4 ATS in their last 4 overall and 0-5 ATS in the llast 5 road games. Bradley is 7-0 ATS in their last 7 games versus a team with a winning percentage below 400 and 17-4 ATS in their last 21 home games. Bradley does not play down to the competition. Yeah, some good data there by Matty Puppy Sports. Give that guy a follow on Twitter. And I think this is our last one. Bama money line. Bama, 3 straight W's. This is from Captain Axe's Locks, by the way. Give this guy a follow on Twitter. Last 5 games, they are allowing 59.6 points per game and scoring 84.2. They beat Houston and Mississippi State away. They are on a roll, baby. Arkansas, 3 straight ATS losses. Last 5 games, they're allowing 70.4. Scoring's not great. Bama plus 6.2% 3-point percentage and plus 9.6 rebound per game to Arkansas. All right, some good picks there. We don't always get all those in, but I recommend if you're looking for some looks, if you're not one of these people who likes to sit down and dig into the numbers yourself, there's always some good some good picks, some winners in that thread there. So you can find that on my Twitter every day, Monday through Friday. Guys, it is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business. Since 1997, today's featured expert is NBA profits leader Brian Edwards, who's on a 12-3 NBA totals run. Platinum Sports had a perfect 4-0 night in college hoops, and Kyle Hunter is 17-8 in his last 25 college picks. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks. That's VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's basketball bets. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, betters! Woo! I want to get your opinion on something here, Kevin. There's a thread going around on Twitter. What's 100% a total scam, but we still accept it in society? My answer, maybe not the biggest total scam in the world, not even by a long shot, but I said movie theater popcorn. The markup on movie theater popcorn is absolutely ridiculous. You're paying $12 for a bag of popcorn that probably costs around 50 cents. So I'm getting some pushback on that, saying I'm wrong. Movie theater popcorn is fantastic. Just the markup on it is insanity. So what do you think? You think I'm onto something here?
I think so. Soda in restaurants when it's $3, $3.50 for just is 100% the biggest scam. That you can go get a 2-liter in the store for $3, and instead you go to a restaurant and get it, and they charge you $3.50 for it, but you get the free refills. That you got to do. That you're reversing the scam. Then you got to keep getting as many refills as possible. You do not go in somewhere and not get the refills.
I think it's a sign of my age that I am one of these people that complains now about the cost of going to a movie after going to a movie. I brought my son over the summer, I think it was, to see Super Pets. I don't know if you've caught that one, Kevin. Not bad, though. But yeah, you're like $50 in. By the time you see the matinee of Super Pets, you're buying the drinks and the popcorn and the candy. Another thing that I think is a ripoff these days is bacon. I don't know how bacon prices are looking down in Florida, but bacon has seemed to get more expensive over the years. Up here in Canada, at least. Okay, Kevin, what do you have going on at Vegas Insider that people can check out?
We have some of our best bet videos up for the wild card round. Both you and I do. We have videos out for Saturday, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Jacksonville. Also, Sunday, you have a couple videos out. I got to put out Dolphins, Bills, and we're going to have a college basketball video for tonight that's being produced now. 3 best bets for college basketball. Not the ones you just saw on the show, 3 different ones, so I'm not repeating them. Ooh. So in case you want to see some different ones, Joe, you're going to get 6 total picks because you have those 3 in that video and 3 here on Chasing That Paper. So you're getting an abundance of college basketball picks for free.
So do you recommend parlaying all 6 of your college basketball picks?
YOLO it. Whatever. You know what? You got the Mega Millions here for $1.3 billion. Do this. See what you got.
Yeah, that'll happen to me
in the middle of the table.
Occasionally I'll have you have the 4-0 night, a crazy 5-0 night, and I'll get a response, "Hey man, thanks for the picks." And the guy shows his ticket of parlaying all of my picks. Yesterday, I had Donovan Mitchell plus 230 to score 35 or more, and I had Luka plus 350 to score 40 or more. They both hit. A guy did a $5 parlay on that. He won $150. He showed me the ticket this morning. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, do I recommend parlaying all of my picks? Absolutely not. But we don't hold hands around here. The choice, quite simply, is yours with what you do with your betting dollars. Just bet responsibly is what we always recommend. It's for entertainment for the most part. Okay, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with Ian. Ian will be with me on Thursday and Friday. Same time, same place, right here on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribing to this channel. Guys, good luck with your bets tonight, unless you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!